Okay, I came across something quite exciting these last few days, and I couldn't stop thinking about it, so I decided to make a video of it here on Rev 21 Films. I saw a couple articles online, CNN included, regarding a star in the sky by the name of Betelgeuse. Nope, not that Betelgeuse. I'm talking about, it's spelled differently. It's the name of one of the stars in the constellation of Orion. It's easy to spot in the night sky. For those of you who know me very well, you know that I'm really into astronomy. I love the whole study of the stars, the planets, the solar system, the universe, galaxies, all of that. And one of the things I've always known about and was always fond of and fascinated by is the concept of the supernova. Apparently, Betelgeuse is what's called a large supergiant, a red supergiant star, much larger than our sun. As a matter of fact, its circumference can go up to the orbit of Jupiter. That's how big it is. Like 1 million suns of our suns can fit into Betelgeuse. And the thing about it is that because of its size, we've always known, scientists have always known that it's doomed to explode into what's called a supernova. That's when the star exhausts all its fuel, its capacity to keep going on as a star, and it just pops, it explodes into like this amazing supernova explosion. And the reason why I'm talking about this on this channel, I'm gonna get to, so just hang in there. Now, has such things happened in the past before? It happens all the time, actually. But have they ever been recorded in our history? The answer is yes. This is where I'm gonna get to it. In the year 1054, Chinese astronomers noticed a really bright star that just appeared out of nowhere. It's something that they were not used to seeing. And it was in the constellation of Taurus, the bull. You know, the bull. And they recorded it, and it happened in the year 1054. Around the same time, in the same year, a group of Native Americans in the American Southwest, called the Anasazi, also recorded evidence of this bright, shining new star that appeared in the night sky. So bright, it outshone the full moon, and you could see it in the daytime. That's how bright it was, and it was like that for months. So it must have been a fascinating sight to behold. As time went on, scientists and astronomers have pinpointed the location of this new star as calculated by the astronomers and by the Native Americans to find that right in that area is the remnants of an exploded star. We call it the Crab Nebula. It's basically the remnants of that star, whatever, how big it was, that blew itself up and in that time. Okay, so what does that have to do with Betelgeuse? Well, Betelgeuse, according to the news articles I've been reading online, on CNN and on other science websites, its light has been dimming considerably, dramatically these last few months. And scientists believe that this might be the predecessing moment to it finally exploding into a supernova, which would be quite an experience. Let me give you some math. The supernova explosion that blew up the Crab Nebula, that created the Crab Nebula, is about somewhere around 1,600 light years away. Very far away. This star, Betelgeuse, is only 640 light years away. It's much closer to us. Don't worry, it's not going to hurt us. It's still far enough that it won't destroy us or anything like that. But we'll definitely be able to see quite a spectacle if the star happens to blow up in our lifetime. Now, this may not happen at all, to be honest with you. We may never see that happen. And it has a lot to do with physics and the speed of light and all that kind of stuff, which I'll post right here if you want to read up some trivia about it. But what I'd like to really hone in on is this funny coincidence that I discovered. The year 1054 was when this star just appeared in the sky, and it stayed around for months. The year 1054, another dramatic thing happened in world history. The year 1054 was the year of the first great schism that split the Catholic Church from the east to the west, Constantinople to Rome. That whole argument about where it belongs and all this stuff, which I don't have time to discuss in detail here. But it caused the first great rift within the Catholic Church after the first 1,000 years after being founded by Jesus Christ himself. Of course, this other side that split away is what we call the Greek Orthodox, the Eastern Orthodox churches, which we to this day believe are still in communion with Catholic faith and Catholic belief. However, there's these little differences and different customs and rituals, and there are certain dogmatic and theological differences that are there, but not enough to be considered a real split the way the Protestant revolt happened back in 1517, I think. So it's kind of coincidental to me that the split, in this incredible dramatic split in the body of Christ, happened in 1054, and in that same year, this bright object in the constellation of Taurus showed itself in the night sky and in the daytime sky. That bugged me out. What bugged me out even more was that it happened during the same month. July was the month when the Chinese astronomers witnessed this exploding star in the sky. That's when it first came into brightness and lit up the night sky and the daytime sky. In the July of 1054. That is also the same month that the schism began between the Catholic and the Eastern churches. Now, I knew it was coincidence that it was the year, but to narrow it down to a month out of 12? That's weird. Now look, I'm not trying to, I'm not concluding hysterically that, the two events are related, that it kind of like the supernova kind of like showed itself as a sign of the times or a harbinger of this terrible split that happened in the church. I just find it to be extremely fascinating that it coincidentally happened in the same year and the same month. You can't deny that's pretty interesting. I thought that was pretty hot, actually. Now, what does this have to do with Betelgeuse? Well, like I said earlier, the astronomers has been observing the star is dimming now. You could go out into the night sky and see it in the constellation of Orion. It's the three stars that constitute the belt. They're kind of like in a straight line, 1, 2, 3, and Betelgeuse is on the high left side of that constellation. It's a red giant. You might see a tint of red on a good night. Otherwise, you probably just look at it as a regular star. But in any case, they're saying that they're expecting this star to explode at any time. It's long overdue, as a matter of fact, because of its age, which they've calculated to be about 10 million years old. Quite young for a star's age. But because of its size, they don't last long anyway. So, considering what's been happening in the Catholic, in our church and in our world today, with all the crazy things that are going on, particularly in our church, the issues with the modernist heresies seeping in to our Catholic faith and slowly trying to break it down. If you've seen my reviews on infiltration by Dr. Taylor Marshall, about this whole century-long kind of workings on from the inside to try to destroy the church from within, using slow, methodical methods of re-education, of watering down of the faith, of all these things that is happening now in our time, that's unprecedented in the history of our church. It's huge, and it's still happening. And like I've been saying in every one of these videos, we have to continue to pray for our bishops that are holding in there to resist this, and pray for the bishops that are going to go along with it and advocating for it and cooperating in this, what I would call an evil. Yeah, it's gone that far. And so the idea that this is a new year, it's it's 2020 now, and to see this star, Betelgeuse, if it were to light up, if it were to blow, if we were to see this go nova this year or within our lifetime, they say that the light from that nova would be so bright, it would be like the crab supernova you see in the daytime, definitely light up the night sky, and it could last for maybe up to a year, which is fascinating. I hope I'm around to see that. However, I can't help but wonder what would happen in that year, whether it blows up in 2020 or in 2021 or maybe in 10 years from now. Maybe it won't blow up at all in our lifetime. Maybe it'll, still take a few more centuries. We don't really know how this really works out. However, considering the zeitgeist of what we're going through right now with what's happening within our church, and considering how there was a big sign in disguise in the year 1054, in July of 1054, where that happened also, can't help but wonder what's going to happen next. I really wanted to just share this with you guys. Have a happy new year. Ralph Perez from Rev 21 Films. God bless you.